Sanitizing and validating user input is very crucial for security and data integrity. So in this video, we'll be looking at validating our user input coming from the form, and to make sure what the whole validation is all about is to make sure that user enter appropriate data or what they are supposed to enter. For example, if you are meant to enter number, let it be number, because some users have the mind of destroying your system. So what the validation and the sanitization does is to help curb all those kind of irregularities or abnormalities so that your systems are not taken over by hackers. So that's what we're going to do today. So let's go get into the system and look at some little slides to understand what is sanitization and what is validation before we now go into practicalities. Validating and sanitizing user input. Now, what is validating? Validating ensures that the input the users have entered conform to expected formats and rules. So the users are supposed to, the system, we're expecting some certain kind of data. But most users, like they always say, don't trust any user. Some come with bad intentions. So what validation does is to make sure that the proper formats and rules are followed and entered so that we don't have any issues with our system. Validating. So what are the ways to validate the user input? So now we have the filter var. This is a function in PHP for validating various data types, e.g. email, URL, IP address, numbers, etc. So that's what filter var does. The other one is to use the set function and the empty function. Now, what does both of them do? Now, this is a function for checking if a variable is set. Now, the set checks if the variable has been set, and the empty checks if it's empty. Now, if your form is empty, for example, you're supposed to enter your required name, but if the form or that text box is empty, then do not process the form or do not do anything about it. So that's what the empty is all about, and the other is set. The next one is sanitization. What is sanitization? Sanitization cleans and transforms inputs to remove or neutralize potentially harmful characters, preventing attacks like cross-site scriptings, which is the XSS or the SQL injection. So sanitizes it, removes the things that are harmful, that will cause problem in your application. So let's move up. Now we can also use, remember we talked about filter var, but you cannot use this filter var for strings. It used to work for strings earlier, but now it's been removed from PHP 8, I think so. Now what you just have to revert back to the old method, which is the HTML special charts. It's a function. This converts special characters to HTML entities. We can also use our strip tags. Now, strip tag, this function removes HTML and PHP tags from a string. Then the next one is stream. The next function is stream. So this function removes white spaces from the beginning and end of a tag. The next one is strip slashes. This function removes backslashes added by functions like add slashes. Then the final method we're going to use, especially if you are sending your data to database. So we're going to use the prepared statement. Avoid directly inserting users' input into SQL queries. Instead, use prepared statements with bound parameters to prevent SQL injection attacks. This way, inputs are treated as data, not as executable code. So avoid, what this is saying in essence is avoid entering your data directly to your database by sending it directly on. So instead you use the bound parameters to prevent SQL injection attacks. Now, what are the essence of all these methods? The essence of all this method is to prevent or to to control to control security, to prevent breach in your system, and to maintain data integrity. So let's continue back. Now let's go to VS Code. So now in the VS Code we have our contact. I've created the contact form. So let's go to the browser to look at what we have. So this is what we have. So if I had a task, nothing is happening. Now we need to start with the first method. So the first method I'm going to do is I will start with the HTML special chars. I'll just do, now the first thing we need to do is to create a variable for each of our forms inputs. So we have the first one, name. This is the name. The second one is email. So email is equals to empty. You can do it like this. Then we have email equals to empty. But another method to do this is to combine everything together into one variable like this. So this is empty. So it means this last one is the same thing as doing it this way. So we are going to remove this first one, the first two that we have done. Then we are going to create another variable for name error. So what if there are name errors? If you have errors in your code, this is what we use to display it. So now let's start to do our validation. So we start with our isSet first, like we talked about. So if is set, so post, we had this, the variable. Then the first thing we want to do now is to validate those forms. Now the first method I want to use that HTML special chars that we use. So it's going to be name equals to HTML special chars. Then we declare the variable, declare the name. So we have this. So let's just duplicate it and call this email. So we've done this. Now the next thing I want to do is to now check for if the form is empty. So if empty, name. So if it's empty, if it's empty, so we now do name error equals to please your name is required. Okay, right? Your name is required. So we have this. So let's go into our form, the name property here, and add that error message. Echo name error. So now let's go into the application and see it. So when you click on add, it gives you please your name is required. It will not process the form because the name is required. So it will not process the form. So we'll go back, we'll do the same for the email. But before we do that for the email, let's do other things. Like let's do else. Now the else is that I only want, for example now, I only want, what is it now? I only want letters. I don't want numbers. The way it is now, numbers can be added to it. Even other characters can be added to it. So I'm trying to work against that. So the next thing we're going to do, if is not preg match, so we are doing validation. We are matching this against this. So it's going to be this. Now inside this bracket, I will do small letters. So to access small letters and capital, we can also accept hyphens, then white space. That's the space there. Then we have this asterisk and the dollar sign and this. So what are we validating against? We are validating against name. Let's just use the super global name. So we have this. So the next thing we are going to do is name error. So please, name can only contain letters, hyphen, and white spaces, right? So let's go back and check it out. So if you do add, and when I enter number with a name, it gives you please, name can only contain, not contain letters. So at least you get the gist of the matter. So you see what's going on there. So letters, hyphen, and white spaces, excuse me. So let's do same. You can also add other things if you need to add another thing in this place. But before we come to the email, there's one other thing I would like to do. You know, we talked about strip tags, HTML special tags like this, trim. So instead of creating each, so what I will do is that I will create a function. Basically, this is what I normally like to do. I can create a function outside or inside, but or maybe we should create a function outside. Let's create a function outside here. So it will be function. So I will call it escape val. Escape val. So let's just do this input. Right. So input is equals to strip tags. Right. Then we do the input there. Let's just duplicate. So we can use this one as trim. Use the next one as HTML special charts. Then you now return. We can now return the input statement. So we do something like this. So instead of doing this here, we can just use our escape value. Right? We can use our escape value. So you still have what you're supposed to have. So let me just refresh and let's see what happens here. So your name is required. Okay, let's add numbers. Can only contain letters, so everything is still working. So let's do for email. So if you do, empty email. So we do email error, right? So it's equals to please your email is required. Okay, we can come now and do our else. You can also sanitize the email here if you want to, but that is for, I'm just doing this at the basic level like I said. So we have our if, so we can do filter, if not filter var. So we are going to reverse the order in this place. So it's going to be this way. Email. So it's going to be filter validate email. Okay. So we're going to do email on error equals to please the email entered is invalid. Okay, let's just see what happens here. So let's refresh. Oh, I didn't enter. So let's go to where we have this. Then we do echo variable email error. Okay, now let's go back again. Email is required. So let's enter a wrong email. Let's remove the @ so it said the email entered is invalid. So the moment we have done the invalid, now let's echo everything if everything is correct. So we do if empty, which is name error, and empty email error, right? So let's just echo name, echo email. So let's just let's see if we're on track. So let's enter our proper name, enter the proper email, and add. So you see the name is above, Donald Philip, Bluesparrow NG. So it's working. See that you can echo it out. So now let's add, see if in case, let's add this and just put my name and see if it will show all those errors or if it will print them out. So we do this. See, it removed it entirely. Because why? It's trimming them, it's removing all the strip tags. So that's why it's not working. We are getting that. Now, if you notice that when we click echo, or sorry, when we click add task, the name does not remain back. So what you can do is that you go back to your form, where you have this value, you can echo your statement there. So you just do name. Oh, sorry. Okay. So let's just do for only this, and we'll move up to the last part. So if I enter Donald Philip and echo, so Donald Philip remains the way it is. Okay, let's just do for email. So let me just copy this and just change the name, and just change the name to email. So we have here email and save. So we'll go back, refresh what we are doing, enter the proper name and echo. So you have it echo, it still remains here. But if you want to clear it out entirely, now after the empty statement, you can now do like a redirection. You can do a redirection. So we have location. So it takes you to, what's the title of this our application? Validating, what's it now? Validating sanitizing. Validating sanitizing. I hope it will work because I didn't put local host. So let's just see if we won't have any error. So let's put it again. Email. Okay, okay, so it's cleared everything off, so it's not showing. So everything is working. So you see, it's just a simple and basic way of validating your form. If you want to learn other ways of validating other things like numbers, it's just to change all this to number. If I had numbers here, so all those will change. Okay, now let's go into the prepared state. Let's just use an existing database. Let me see. Dashboard. Okay, PHP my admin. Oh, my database is not on. Show all windows. So let me on my SQLi. My SQL wasn't on initially. Okay, so let's use I think this is our testing database. Do you have anything like, okay, contacts? Nope. I don't want something that has first name and last name. Let's see email contact. Okay, username and email. So let's use username. So we have contacts in what database? Email contact. So let's, so that we can test what we are doing. So let's come to the beginning and just create. I'm just doing everything on one page. Normally I don't do on one page. So I'm using normally I use PDO for everything I do. So we're going to create We are going to define, so localhost. Oh, sorry. Let me call this host. Localhost. So I'll call this user. User is Bluesparrow. So we have okay, let me change it to db host. I like to do it this way. db user, db underscore name. So I just delete this. Underscore name is I think is test database. So db underscore password, right? So we have this. So let's do right. So we have my SQL hosts. So the host will now be db host semicolon db name, right? So we do db underscore name. Then we have db user, db pass. Okay, let's do, so let's submit to a database. So what we're going to do now is if empty. So let's leave out this part. Let's remove this part now. If empty, so let's do SQL. So insert into email, I think it's email contact, right? Email contact. So we're going to have, what's the email contact now? I think it's username and email. username, email. Then we create our values. So we are going to do something like this. User. So I'm using now the bound parameter, like we discussed. So insert into this. So we have our statements. So we have the con variable that we created. So prepare statement, SQL. So statement will now be, what's that one then? Okay, execute. Okay, so we're going to do now our bound parameter will now be username. What's the email we are using? Name. What's that one? Email, right? If I'm correct. Yeah, correct. Email. Then we have the email. So that's then if it's okay, it validates and goes into the page, then refresh it itself. So I'm not going to check if it's correct. So let's just go straight to this, refresh the page and test it out. Oh, test database, unknown database. Oh, testing database, unknown database, testing. Okay, so now let's enter Donald Philip, email address this, then we'll enter task. So let's see if what we did is correct. So it's okay. So let us try another one. We now say, whose name can I use now? Who's somebody's name? Okay, Donald Trump. Donald at trump.com. So I don't know why I had to use Donald Trump. Maybe because will bear the same name. So that's how far, see how it's working. So that's how far we can go in today's video. So hopefully you understand the basic, or rather you have a basic understanding of how to validate and sanitize forms using PHP. Like I said, this is just the basic. There are other advanced methods. You can also use object-oriented, but for now, that is just basically what I want us to just cover. So, but in the next video, hopefully we are going to enjoy more, right? I hope you understand, you get this video, and I hope this, if you have any issues or you want more clarification, please just post in the comment page, in the comments. Then if I cannot answer, if it's not something I can answer typing, then I will do another video to answer your question. Thank you. We really appreciate you. We really appreciate if you can like and share our video, and also subscribe to our video, because it will go a long way, a very, very long way, to go very far and reach people who need videos like this, especially those who are new into web development. Thank you so very much, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.